Do you like it? Pick it up. Hey, hi.
I want to pick it up.
Let's pick it up like this. It won't bite you.
What is this?
It's a boy. You must give it a name. That's what the name. What's going to be the name?
It's like I'm going for insane. It's nothing left to say. It is time let it be. Away from me, away from me. It's always you. It's always you. It's always you. It's always you.
No.
It's always you.
No. What are you doing? Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for the love that you've shown me for the past videos that I uploaded. I'm so happy to be back once again with a story time. First of all, before we start, I just want to talk about my hair. Oh my god, I really love this hair. Again, this is a unit that my sister will be selling. This is a 22-inch. It's a brownish blondish. It's, oh gosh, I really this is my favorite. It's a 22 inch ear to ear, and yeah, it's really nice. If you guys can see that, I really love this hair. Okay, so the story time of today, I'm going to be talking about how our pet or our dog Andrew died. Yo, like it's you know, having a pet die is such a weird feeling, because like you don't know whether to cry or like you don't know whether to cry, but you know, it's just that it's a heartache. It's like a different type of heartache. Like it's very it's very hard. So, but I'm just gonna tell you guys what happened. So we adopted Andrew in June. We actually wanted to get him we've been looking for a puppy for a very long time, and so when the lockdown approached, I really wanted to get the dog, so that a puppy, so that my kids could, you know, not be very bored. They can have like a pet to play with. And basically Newo has been a pet lover for a very long time. She's been really in love with dogs from like when she was 9 months old. She was so in love with the puppy that lived next door. She was so fascinated, she was so excited. Even when we went home, you know, there's a dog called Snoopy. You know, she oh my goodness, the first thing she does when she wakes up is she just goes and plays with Snoopy. So we decided that, okay, no, since we have a home now that's big enough for us to start having pets, we decided that, you know what, we're gonna get a pet. So as a start, we wanted something that was small breed, so that we got a Fox Terrier cross. So it was a mixed breed. I think it was a Jack Russell with a Fox Terrier. Is it Terrier or I think it's let's just say Fox Sierra. I think it was a mixed breed with a Jack Russell, because it grew to be medium. It wasn't a big dog, and it wasn't really naughty as well. It was such a sweet dog. We got a male, because then I decided that, you know what, there's too many females in this house, we at least need a male dog. So we basically got a male dog. And then after that, fine, we adopted Andrew. We went to go fetch. Mind you, I've got like I've got a serious phobia when it comes to dogs, but you know, because now my kids wanted a dog, I just had to find a way to get along with dogs so that I can even protect them from them. You know, when something happens, you know, I know that my kids are protected, and so I had to like get along with dogs. I had to really get over my fear. So that another way to get over my fear was to get a dog of our own. I really didn't see myself as a dog lover, but yeah, that's what happens when you become a parent. You do things that you never thought you'd do because of your children. So fine, we adopted the dog, and we named him Andrew. Oh my goodness, Andrew was so cute. They wanted to sleep with him, you know, you share the same bed with him, you know, and like when they're puppies, they poop a lot, and then they, you know, they just pee everywhere. So yeah, Andrew was, when he was a puppy, when he was very small, most of the time they wanted him in here. They treated him like a little baby. You know, he even had that little blanket where they just fold him, and you know, like they would rock him basically to sleep. That's how. So I'm trying to paint a picture of how much this dog was like important in this family. So they'd rock him to sleep, you know. He even had a bed. They'd put him to sleep. The first thing they wanted to do when they woke up in the morning was go and greet Andrew. As he grew up, I would call Andrew inside the house, and he'd go in their bedroom, you know, say good morning to them, and not say good morning to them, but you know what I mean. So it was fun, you know. They really loved their puppy, and it was so nice. So now one day, I noticed that, you know, oh yes, yeah, just to go in more details, you know, so they also took care of the dog, you know, gave it food when it was time for it. It was also a nice way to kind of teach them to be responsible, because they took turns in feeding the dog, and also to bath the dog, they would do that. So we know that Masiho would feed Andrew breakfast, because Mel would go to school, so Masiho would give Andrew some breakfast. So when the more dogs get older, the more they eat like twice a day, and like when they're puppies, they want to constantly nibble on something and all of that. So when he got older, like 4 months, then Neo started going to school, and then so he'd require to like eat twice a day. And so, you know, we know that Masiho, you know, would give him breakfast and make sure that he always has water. And then Neo and Claire would come back from school and give him dinner when it was time for dinner. So yeah, it was a nice way to also teach them to be responsible for something. And then also when it was time for him to go to sleep, you know, he would sleep. He had his own bed in the garage, because, you know, we've got alarms and stuff outside happening. So at night when we asleep, like, we don't want any movement outside, so he would basically sleep in the garage. So they'd put him in the garage, good night. Sometimes they'd kiss him good night, make sure that he's got enough water, and sometimes give him food for throughout the night, because yeah, God only knows the sleeping pattern of dogs, what happens there, I'm not sure. So yeah, and then sometimes I would switch. Neo would be the one giving him breakfast, Masako would be the one giving him lunch. So it was very nice, you know. Even it was bath time, they would make sure that they bath the dog, you know. That was very fun for both the dogs, and for both the dog and the kids, you know. They would have a really good time, you know, kids, and playing in the water. And it was also a nice time for me to also spend time with them and to teach them stuff, you know, to teach them how to be responsible for something. Good. Then we lived happily ever after with our dog. It was so nice having him around. He would play with the kids. He was also playing in the trampoline with them. The only thing that he couldn't get to do was to swim and stuff. All right, and then the puppy starts, you know, I don't mean to laugh, I can't cry, so I'm gonna laugh. So and then after that the dog started getting sick. How I noticed that he wasn't well was that he's a person who never ever sleeps, like never. That's why I'm saying that his sleeping patterns were so weird. I don't even know if he slept at night or whatever, but he would never sleep in the afternoon. He was always chasing birds, always maybe just doing, he's busy with something, always nibbling or sit down, but never to sleep. And then that day he decided that he wants to sleep and he's not eating. And then I was like, okay, that's very, very strange. It's not like him to do that. Let's check him overnight. So overnight when we checked him, still his food was still intact. He didn't eat all night. And I was like, okay, something's wrong with the dog. We need to get him to the vet. So we checked him out for the whole day, and then I contacted my family members who have pets, like my pet is doing that and all that, is not eating and everything. And my aunt said, oh, it's probably he has got worms, just take him to the vet so that he can be dewormed. And I thought, oh yeah, it is time for him to be dewormed anyway. Oh yeah, and what I didn't say in the beginning is that when we got Andrew, he was vaccinated, had one vaccine, and then they told her, you know what guys, all you need to do now is deworm him. And silly us, we did do our own research to see what else the puppy needs, only to find out only later when it was too late that he needed 2 more vaccines, right? He had one when he was, I think, 2 weeks or 6 weeks, I don't know, 6 weeks, yeah, and then he needed one when he was like 12 weeks, and I don't know, 12 weeks and I think 16 weeks, I forgot. 12, I think it was 9 and 14 weeks or 16 weeks and just somewhere there. But he needed 2 vaccines, just like newborn babies. It's 6 weeks, it's 14 weeks, and then it's I think it's 20 weeks, yeah, and then after that it's 5 months, and then it's a year and all of that. So it's the same thing with dogs. You vaccinate them, like when they are still small, you vaccinate them frequently. There's 3 most important vaccines that you need to do, and after that every year then they should be getting a vaccine. We didn't know all of that, and it was a blunder on our side. We didn't do any research. We just thought, okay, he's been vaccinated, he just needs to be dewormed, and yeah, we'll just deworm him. And then so when my aunt said that no, Andrew just needs to, maybe he's got worms, I thought, oh yeah, anyways, it's his time for him to be dewormed. So we noticed that he started vomiting, and he because we didn't really know where the blood was coming from, but we saw that there was blood around him as well. And then he was very lethargic. He didn't want to move, he didn't want to eat, he didn't want to do anything. So we sent him straight to the vet to check him out. And then we got to the vet and we're like, okay, we think he's got worms, can you just check him out? He's not eating, he's not doing anything. And then the vet took him, and then he was like, so madam, your puppy doesn't have worms, he's got the parvovirus. Okay, what can you do? Giving him injection, what do we do? So he gave us treatment for him, and he's like, well, I gave him something for his diarrhea, like an injection, and if he makes it through the night. And we're like, whoa, if he makes it through the night. And the doc was like, if he makes it through the night, bring him tomorrow. If he makes it, this thing is serious, Ms. Okay, if he makes it through the night, please bring him tomorrow. So he gave him an injection to stop the vomiting and the diarrhea, and then also he gave us something to treat the diarrhea at home, like something that we should put on water, and food that he should be eating. At this time, our poor Andrew has lost so much weight. His eyes have gone in, when you're sick and then your eyes just go in. He doesn't want to move an inch. He all of a sudden wants to spend time alone. He wants to be alone, and he doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to do anything. And when we get to the doctor's like, if he makes it through the night, or if he makes it through the day today, how? And we didn't take him serious. No, man, nah, our Andrew can't die now. So we treat him everything at home, and still, he doesn't respond. And let me just read to you guys what is this virus. So parvovirus is a it weakens the puppy's immune system and lowers his white blood cells count, reducing his ability to fight off secondary bacterial infection. The damage of the virus to the dog's internal walls increases the likelihood of a secondary infection. So it's a virus that attacks the dog's immune system, and basically it damages the dog's intestinal walls. So that's why now our Andrew was like, his diarrhea was blood and he was vomiting and nothing. He didn't want to eat because his intestinal walls were basically like being chowed by this virus. So unfortunately, the time we caught it, like it was too late, and then we were I think we just didn't know that there was, I didn't even know a virus like this existed. Yeah. And then after that we we treated him, just really tried, but we could see that, wow, things are so bad. And then I started introducing and I started really explaining to my kids, especially the older one, that there's a possibility that Andrew might go to heaven. And then my daughter was like, no, mommy, Andrew's not going to heaven. If Andrew is going to heaven, I'm going with him. It was that bad. But like, we explained to her that, Andrew is so sick right now, and there's a possibility that, he might go to heaven. So my daughter just, she could see that it's really bad, and she decided that, Mom, maybe if I could cuddle with Andrew and sleep with him tonight, maybe he could wake up better. And then we just let her kind of like have her moment and spend a little time with him and sleep with him. And and then we took him to bed, and he was so sick, Shane, and he's always he was such a lively dog, always playing. Like I said, he would never sleep in the afternoon. That's how I noticed that he was sick. And so and then he survived the night, and we were so happy, we were so hopeful. But I could see that, he survived the night, but I'm not sure if he's going to make it today, because I could see now his diarrhea was becoming blood. So now I could see that, his intestines, I think they are so damaged beyond repair, because now like pure blood is coming out of him now. And this virus is like terrible. Pure blood is coming out of him now, and like, how is he going to recover from that? How are his intestines going to be fine? And then I could see that, I think we should really say goodbye to him, or maybe just go to the SPCA and let them put him down. But like, we could see that we could see the way he was sleeping. He was sleeping in a position that we have never seen him sleep before. He was not responding to anything anymore. And then so we sort of like, we decided that, we're just gonna wait for it, and like wait for him to sort of like to die. And then our Newently was not there at that time, so we waited for him. And then he died, like, I think it was 10 o'clock in the morning. He really got himself into a comfortable position under the tree. And it was like so traumatizing, because we were like literally waiting for him to stop breathing, because things were really bad. And then when we read more about this disease, all of the people who said their puppies survived from this they said it was purely out of luck, and purely because they caught it while it was very quickly, and it took us really time, and we didn't know that a virus like this existed to actually pick it up. So when he passed away at 10, we decided, okay, so what we do, we called the SPCA, and they said that they don't really pick up dead bodies of dogs. What we can do is like drop him off so that they can handle the body the way they see, the way they do, stuff. And then, we decided, okay, we're gonna take him to the SPCA. And then, but we decide like, okay, but like, what are we gonna tell Nero when she comes back from school and then her dog is like not there anymore? What are we gonna tell him? What are we gonna tell her rather? And then so we call to school. My friend says that I'm dramatic for doing this, but I think I had to. So we called to school and we told them that, okay, Neo's puppy just died. Can we please come and pick her up? It was just an hour before they would break away from school. So we picked her up and then we told her, Nana, you know, we did explain to you yesterday that Andrew's gonna go to heaven. Now he's in heaven. So now we need to send him, you know, at the SPCA where they do to dogs what they do to dogs. So now we picked up from school and then we took Andrew, put him in what is this, in a black plastic bag, and then we took him to the SPCA. So we wanted her to be there to see that, you know, could you see that he's not moving anymore, he's not talking. I'm like, you know, try and talk to him and see that, you know, he's not responding anymore. And she just kept calling him Andrew, Andrew. Oh guys, it was really, it was so sad. Like, it was so sad. And then, you know, she, you know, I just showed her like, okay, do you want to touch him? Do you want to say goodbye to him? And yeah, that's how. And then after that we took him to the SPCA, and then we took both of them, and then the small one actually started crying like, Mom, I want Andrew, Mama. Like, how do you explain to a 2-year-old that, you know, Andrew's like gone, you won't ever see him again? But then the 2-year-old was also there, like when we picked him up, put him in the body bag and like put him in our boots, and we told, okay, did you see that we put Andrew there? Andrew's there, and now Andrew is not coming back. Okay, so yeah, that's how we did it. We picked her up from school and then we went all together to the SPCA where we dropped Andrew off. It was like so sad. And then after that, the kids, you know, people were calling us, oh, condolences for your puppy, you know, how are the kids holding up? And then I think Newa found a way to console herself, because she started saying that, okay, Mommy, I think that you should get me a cat rather for Christmas, because, you know, Andrew was bothering me, you know, he was biting me. But I think it was a way to console herself. You know, it is a way in which she wanted to grieve. And then but now these days she's starting to say, oh, Mommy, you know, I really miss Andrew. I think we should get another dog. You know, only now she's like grieving properly, I think. Yeah, so next time, or if you guys are planning to adopt, please make sure that you vaccinate your puppies. You give them all 3 vaccines, because when we got there, actually the vet told us that, you know, even if you get them 2 vaccines, it's really not enough. You should get them all 3 vaccines. And sometimes I think this there are certain breeds of dogs which are really prone to this virus, because we grew up around dogs, and I really don't remember anybody taking their dog to a vet. But this one in particular, I think this breed was really like very sensitive, and we don't really know where he got the disease, because he was a dog who never interacted with our other dogs. He was always home, and apparently this disease can also be found in people's shoes. So if you've got a visitor who visited a place where there was a dog who died of parvo disease, then if that visitor comes to your home, their shoe has the disease. Sometimes I think maybe it's airborne actually. If maybe there were dogs around with that disease, the dog can like pick it up, you know, and that's how they fall sick. So if you've got a puppy, get all 3 vaccines, and then if you can afford it, maybe even, I think maybe, you know, we should get puppy insurance, because it's so painful when they die. Like, you know, it's a different kind of heartache. You're in between crying and laughing, and like you just don't know what to do. It's so weird having a puppy die. Anyway, that's it for my story time, guys. Hope everybody's well, hope everybody's good, and I hope you liked this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and we will chat on the next video. Bye.